And welcome in everybody to the Chicago Sports Mayhem show. Sorry about that little technical difficulty. Got everything straightened out there. Um, I am your host, Andrew Mighty Manshide, and like I just said, welcome into the Chicago Sports Mayhem show. We got a good one set up for you tonight, and it's going to pit the city of Chicago against itself, in my opinion. Well, which MLB team in Chicago is playing better ball right now? The Chicago White Sox or the Chicago Cubs? And let's just take a look at this in that way, you know? Let's take a look at this, right? Okay, as the White Sox, as a team, let's take a look at this. Their power is undeniable, and this is what I mean, guys. 75 home runs as a team. Now, that did go up as of yesterday with Munetaka Murakami hitting his 20th home run on the season. You know, he's just behind the MLB leader in Kyle Schwarber, Philadelphia Philly. Kyle Schwarber, former Chicago Cub, World Series champion. Always nice to say his name. Um, but yeah, I mean, Moody's got the power at the plate for the Sox this season is undeniable, and I think it's something we were not expecting to see. Now, when I say that, I say it with all the love in the world. I'm a huge White Sox fan, for those that do not know, and I love this team, but I will say I expected them, or I predicted at the start of the season after watching spring training that they would go 81 and 81. And when you look at last year's numbers for the White Sox, they won 60 games or 61 games. It was, I might be a game off at 60 or be right on the nose at 61 with that. Um, for them to receive a 20 game jump in a season when that's what you did last year under a first year manager in Will Venable, now a second year manager, is it feasible that they could jump another 20 games this season? I totally believe so. And with all the love in the world to the Chicago White Sox, love them with all love and affection. They do have some issues that need to be addressed, right? Right? And you can't just say, well, I don't want to I don't want to be a part of a losing team as a fan. And I went on a little rant there, but things need to be addressed on the south side. One of them being Edgar Quero. And yes, he has been picking it up at the plate as of late, and but is it sustainable? I mean, when you look at his numbers, he's batting a little over 160, fine, um, but and him being a catcher, you do not expect him to be hitting bombs at the plate. He's not a big power hitter, but I think he could do a lot better at the plate than he's been doing. I think this White Sox team is really, really good this year. I think they're going to have a good time with everything. And I think that they just need to find themselves. I mean, it's as simple as needing to find yourself. And um, it might take him needing to get sent down to Charlotte to say, hey, we're not going to have you unknowingly make a fool of yourself here in the big leagues, but we're going to send you down to Charlotte, or maybe send him to Arizona like you did with Colson Montgomery, and fix his swing. Maybe there's something that needs to be fixed in his swing. We saw that's what they did with Colson Montgomery last year. He came up to the big leagues after that and was just lighting it up. He was lighting it up, and I know Edgar Quero can hit at the big league level. That is not in question. But he's just, I think it's a lack of confidence in himself right now, which, I mean, can be easily fixed with a very short rehab assignment down in Charlotte. I mean, and I'm not talking rehab like he's injured. I'm talking just send him down for a couple weeks. Let him get his confidence back up and then bring him back up. I mean, you got Drew Romo, okay? Oh God. You got Drew Romo. He's doing good. But he, at the plate, in my opinion, is doing a little better than Edgar Quero. When you look at Drew Romo's stats, when he only has 10 hits in the MLB, maybe a little more, and 5 of those 10 to 11 hits are home runs. I mean, that's making a statement early in your big league career, and it's awesome to see these guys flourishing, right? You want to see them become better versions of themselves, have more fun than they can, and and that's the thing. We're saying that this White Sox club has things they need to work on, but all in all, what is the key to their success, in my opinion? It is just the looseness in the clubhouse. And what I mean when I say looseness in the clubhouse, ladies and gentlemen, is they're playing the best way I could put it. This White Sox team is playing like it's a little league game every time they take that field. They're going out there, they're having the time of their life, and they're winning ball games. They're winning ball games, everybody, and that is the big thing. They're winning, and I said this before, and I'm sorry you guys did not get an episode last week. I stupidly uploaded the same week twice, and didn't realize it until the next day, and I didn't have an opportunity to fix it. So I apologize to all my loyal fans that expect an episode a week, and I screwed up last week. So I do apologize. But I said this in last week's episode that wasn't aired. The White Sox are young, they're winning ball games, but the big thing is they're not sweeping teams. They've had less than 4 sweeps on the season, but they're still sitting at 29 and 27 currently. So it makes you think, who's the better team in Chicago, the Cubs or White Sox? In my opinion, right now, it's the White Sox. And in the next segment, we're going to talk about the Cubs and what they need to do to kind of fight back. Yes, they had a win in that game against Pittsburgh, 10-4. You snap the 10-game losing streak. Perfect. Now, are you going to keep the winning going, or are you just going to keep sliding? Which brings us to the next lower third, to show you guys that I made, and things are a little screwy right now for me, and I'm trying to figure it all out. But yeah, guys, the White Sox, I think, are the better team in Chicago. Now, let's take a look in a week or so and see where this team is sitting, because, yeah, Munetaka Murakami has over 15 home runs, and it's not even the month of June. He has 20 home runs, and it's not even the month of June. So it makes you think, everybody, what does this White Sox team have in store for the rest of the season? Because, and I'm going to be the component of this and always say it, everybody, that, they just need to be themselves, right? Right? You need to be you. Right. And I think the Cubs can fight back. Sorry. Yeah, lost my train of thought, everybody. Lost my train of thought, everybody. Lost my train of thought. But yeah, over 75 home runs as a team. I mean, the White Sox are really putting it together, but with the Cubs, it's gonna take. You're in a really tough division in the NL Central. The Cubs are, and you know what? Let's take a look at that graphic, everybody. Um, Found that lower third that went missing, everybody. Yay! Found the lower third that went missing. And as you can see, are the Cubs headed for the showers or are they playoff bound? Well, is it too early to tell? I don't know. We're going to find out what's going on with this Cubs team, or what I believe is going on with this Cubs team, because I believe a lot is going on with this North Side team. After the break, this episode might be a little shorter than half an hour. Trying to still figure out how long my segments are, but we'll get there. After the break, everybody, we will again talk about what this Cubs team needs to do to fight back, and you know what in the world happened during that 10-game losing streak, because it was something else, right? So after the break, we will talk about the Cubs.
It's this one to left center field. Back it goes. Back. Gone! Boy, what a first inning here for the White Sox. A 5-spot against Matt Clement in Boston. You wouldn't know that Chicago hit more homers than Boston. Just one more. That was a big home run by Persicki. Konerko, deep to left. Back it goes. Didn't miss this one. Gone. We told you at the outset, like Big Papi and like Manny Ramirez, Konerko's had 2 straight seasons of 40-plus home runs. He almost hit one in his first at-bat. He hits one right there.
Call here with just a nice short stroke. Head down on the ball. Just drop the head of the bat on the ball. Didn't try to do too much.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Mayhem Show, the Chicago Sports Mayhem Talk Show, here with your host, Andrew Moneyman Shine. And God, I love saying that. And you know what, everybody? At the end of this segment about the Cubs, because that's what we're talking about. Are the Cubs headed for the showers, or are they headed for the playoffs? Well, is it too early to tell? I mean, I think that's the big question here. I don't believe that it's too early to tell, because we're over a quarter of a way through this MLB season, and the Cubs have not shown me that they're a playoff team yet. And I say that with much love to all the Cubs fans out there. Now, I'm not saying that the Cubs are not a playoff team. They just have not shown me yet that they can compete in the playoffs. Not that you can make it to the playoffs, because that is a whole other story, in my opinion. That's a whole other thing that you need to focus on, in my opinion. Making the playoffs and competing in the playoffs are two different things, in my opinion. And I just think with the Cubs being in the division that they are in, and it is a tough division in the NL Central, I just think they haven't shown me yet that they can compete in the playoffs. Can this team possibly make it to the playoffs? Yes. Right now, I see them possibly grabbing a wild card spot, and that is a big possibly, because they're just not. Everyone said early that this was flashes of the 2016 Cubs team, and yeah, I mean, with those 2 10-game win streaks, I was right on board with them, but then they started to fall off a cliff. I mean, I say a lot that I hate the Cubs. And during the regular season, my White Sox fandom does hate the Cubs. Now, the sports broadcaster in me can be unbiased and say, okay, yes, this Cubs team does have good pieces, but right now they're not showing me those good pieces. Like, PCA is not showing me why they signed him to that big contract extension that'll go through 2032. So, and it always makes you think that, did they spend that money on the right player? Because to tell you the truth, I think they did. I think that you spending the money on that player, and that was a guy they wanted to lock down, so someone like the Dodgers or the Yankees could go and grab him in 3 years, right? So, I mean, it's very, very fun to say, hey, the Cubs might still make the playoffs. It's early. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're being optimistic Cubs fans. I mean, I think that's what you have to do, is be optimistic. You have to show yourself that no matter what comes this team's way, that they can fight through it. And I think this team has shown in the past that they can fight through adversity. I mean, that you made it all the way to the NLDS last year, and you made it you got knocked out by Milwaukee, right? You got knocked out, but here's the big thing. I don't know what's going to happen with this Cubs team this year, and I'm starting to think it might be a little early, because let's be honest, the way every standing is looking right now, every team standing out there could still win over 100 games as it sits at this current moment. No one has lost 62 yet. So, I mean, every team, I think, is still in this race in the Major League Baseball organization. I think every player is still in that playoff race. Every team is still in that playoff race. And if you work hard, I believe every team can get there. But if you don't fix things sooner rather than later, it's going to be, and White Sox fans, we've found this out the past few years, if you do not dig yourself out of that hole early, you are not going to get out of that hole. It's just going to get deeper and deeper and deeper, and I just don't want this Cubs team to get there. So in my opinion, you're lucky you're still above 500 right now. You're lucky to be there. Now, start winning games again. And, I mean, yeah, big thing, start winning games again and winning series. And we talked about in the last segment the White Sox, and I never got to say that the White Sox are winning games, but they're not winning series. They're not sweeping series. They're winning series, but they're not sweeping series. You do not have to win every single game in this series to win a series. The White Sox just took down the Minnesota Twins in their most recent series by taking 3 out of 4 games. That's all you have to do. They lost that second game to Minnesota. So what? You took one loss. Come back, and they did, and they won the next 2 to take the series. So, I mean, that's all the Cubs need to do. Stop worrying about, oh, we need a big win streak to show that we're on top again. You do not need a big win streak to show that you're on top again. You just need to win games and win series. That's what the White Sox are doing. And in my opinion, they're the more fun team to watch. If I'm a baseball fan coming to Chicago, and I'm not saying I want to go to Wrigley because it's Wrigley, I just want to go watch a good baseball game. My money as a Elginite, grew up in Illinois area, grew up with the White Sox, go watch the White Sox right now. That's what I would tell any baseball fan visiting the city of Chicago that wanted to see a baseball game, is go see the White Sox, because I think that everything going on right now, the White Sox are the better team to watch. I almost said more fun, but wait, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. But let's talk about this one, guys. Okay? are the Cubs, there? Are they playoff bound? Or are they headed for the showers? Or, are they the real deal, as that lower third just said? That lower third said, are they the real deal, or are they a bunch of hype? Sorry, I got my graphic mixed up. New setup here this week, and I'm getting used to it. So, yeah. Let me just say this, everybody. The Cubs, I think, can be that team. They're going to be really good. They're going to be better. I think they're just working through things. Remember, they have got a lot of pitchers that are on the IL, and they just need to work through all that. But if you're going to pay money to go see a baseball team in the city of Chicago, and you want to go to a major league baseball game right now to have more fun and a better experience, I would go to the rate, go see the White Sox, go enjoy yourself on the South Side. And that is kind of to Chicagoans, that might be a contradictory in terms. Enjoy yourself on the South Side. Well, depends where on the South Side. If you go to the right, yeah, you can enjoy yourself. But there are some parts I would stay away from. Just me personally. But we are just going to leave that there. Well, now, after this Cubs talk, I want to kind of pivot because it was supposed to be in last week's episode, and I know I'm a little behind the gun. But we're going to talk, first, I want to say something before we get into the nitty gritty of getting deep with Mighty Man. Yeah, I think this Cubs team, they're still good. They still can climb out of this gutter, but they need to start now. Not next week, not next month, now. And it started with that 10-4 win over the Pirates. Now you just keep building on that. Win the series. Keep going. Win the next. That's all you need to do. You're not going to win every game. No team since the inception of the 162-game season in 1961, no team has gone 162-0. It's just not possible. The back-to-back World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers have not done it. So, it's not going to happen. You're going to lose games. The baseball season, it's long, it's grueling. I don't think the Cubs are hyped. I think they were a little too hyped to start the season. I think right now in their division, they're more middle of the pack. I don't think they're at the top yet. That doesn't mean they can't get there. Are the Cubs worth the hype? Yes. I really think they're due because they have their players there. They just need to start producing, one of them being Alex Bregman. All right. Some of these guys just need to produce. Now, going forward, everybody, I want to talk to you a little bit about Mighty Man. Well, and also, where does Mighty Man come from? Well, let's talk about that. And I'm about to get sorry. I'm just making sure I'm pressing to get everything away. Anyway, guys, Mighty Man is a nickname that was given to me 11 years ago now. And I say that to you when I can't believe that it's been 11 years. And I apologize to all my fans out there if I get emotional, but starting this week, at the end of every episode, I'm going to give you guys like a little truth or wisdom, going forward. Because I have some wisdom to give out, I believe. All right. Mighty Man was a nickname given to me about 11 years ago from someone that started as a friend, became a very close friend, then became my best friend, and then became my older brother. That's really how our relationship progressed. And I apologize if I get a little emotional. And you'll find out why in a little bit. It was given to me by my team captain in high school for track and field. But it wasn't given to me when we were on the track season. It was given to me the year earlier when we were both on the bowling team for the same high school. We were sitting down at practice one day, and I was waiting for my ride. He was waiting with me. We were getting closer to each other at that point. So he kind of asked me to tell him my life story, what I've been through, because he noticed I walked a little funnier and all that. And so I was completely and truthfully honest with the dude, and I said, I was born with cerebral palsy, with spastic cerebral palsy, which, if you look it up, that is the same disability that Sunday night baseball announcer on NBC, Jason Benetti, has, and he does not let it get in his way. And that announcer is a very big influence and inspiration to me. But I suffer from spastic cerebral palsy, which basically makes my muscles and tendons in my body as tight as ever. I mean, they're so tight you wouldn't believe it. So I've spent my entire life, I spent my entire life going through leg surgeries, eye surgeries, was in an incubator when I was first born. I went through a standing physical therapy appointment when I was growing up. And he looked over at me, everyone. He looks at me like I'm looking straight at the camera is right now. He looks at me and he goes, "You're one mighty man." That's what he said. And it clicked in his head, I guess, in that moment. And he looks at me and he goes, "Mighty man, that is your nickname." And it stuck so much that is literally my nickname in the track and field community at my alma mater, Elgin, Illinois High School. I have to give them a shout out. And it really kind of ballooned from there the next year in the track season. He took me down to meet our throwing coach. I threw shot put and discus in high school, everybody. He took me down to meet him, and he walks me up to my coach, and he says, "Hey, coach, this is Mighty Man." And Coach Michael Ledbetter, great guy, big influence on me, taught me a lot about life, looks at me and says, "Mighty Man, I like that." But that was just that's Coach Led. I mean, he's that kind of guy. He's a Marine. He never let us skip on anything. He always pushed us as hard as we're going to get. And that's why we love him so much. My friend Nando, that's what we short for Fernando, stuck by my side those 2 years. We did 1 year we did track together, sorry. My sophomore year, his senior year, it was just a great time. Unfortunately, back in 2023, Fernando was killed in a car accident. And partially he's the reason I'm sitting here today talking to you. And I can't thank him enough for that. But yeah, if anyone was curious, and I'm so sorry, where Mighty Man came from, that's it. And it still follows me today. Everyone on the track team calls me Mighty. If they text me, they go, "Hey, Mighty, what's up?" Yeah, but that's kind of where Mighty Man came from. But before I give you Mighty's wisdom of the week, I have to send my condolences. Yes, and I know I'm a little late, but this was in last week's episode that did not get uploaded. I have to send my love, prayers, thoughts to all NASCAR fans out there, to the Busch family and the sad passing of two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Busch. At the age of 41, we now learned that it was pneumonia that progressed into sepsis, which, I mean, it's just awful to hear. You don't like seeing it. You don't like hearing it. It was tragic news for me. I'm a big fan of Kyle's. And as you can see now as a fan, forget being the sports commentator here for a minute. I'm going to shut down and be the NASCAR fan for this one because you kind of have to be. He meant so much to NASCAR fans, to that community, to his family, to the guys he raced against. He was just such an influence to everybody and an amazing influence to everybody. Just bad news, way too soon in my opinion. No one should ever go before their parents do, in my opinion. It's just horrible. My thoughts and prayers go with the family and the NASCAR community. Everyone that worked closely with Kyle, that is grieving right now. My thoughts and prayers go out to you, to all the NASCAR fans. Me being one of them, my prayers go out to you as well as we just try and get through these hard times. But my wisdom for the week to everyone, and this is week 1 of this new ending to the show. If you have a dream out there, if you're trying to accomplish something, no matter what it be, if you're trying to be an Olympic gold medalist, if you're trying to be airplane technician, heck, if your aspiration, you want to go work at McDonald's, I don't know what your aspiration might be, but if anyone's telling you that you cannot get there, cut them out of your life, man, because they're not worth it. If they're telling you that you cannot reach your goals, they're not worth your time, in my opinion. So just, if anyone's telling you you can't do it, don't listen to them, because you can do whatever you set your mind to. If you believe in yourself and you want to do it, you can do it. There should be no stopping you. You fight till the end, everybody. Anyway, this has been the Chicago Sports Mayhem Talk Show. And I've been your host, Andrew Mighty Man Scheid. And again, I'm sorry, new setup this week. Kind of getting used to it. We'll be more used to it next week. We'll have more graphics, more highlights, more coming your way. Very excited. This new setup is awesome, everybody. I'm not behind a computer on a webcam. I'm in front of the camera again. This feels awesome, everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining me for this very, very emotional, touching episode, but also very fun episode, because, in my opinion, who's better to watch in the city of Chicago right now? The White Sox. You can put it on the board. Yes! That's my nod to Ken Hulk Harrelson, one of my favorite baseball announcers out there. And pretty sure my mom heard that in the next room and is going, oh, God, not that again. But anyway, guys, well, I really enjoyed sitting here with you and enjoyed filming this episode. I will see you guys next Friday for the next episode. And you know what? It's going to be a special one. It's going to be World Cup preview, everybody. And for those who don't know, when it comes to soccer, my allegiance lies with one team and one country. That is the Netherlands. And that's who's going to win this year. Mark my words. They're going all the way to finals, and they're going to hoist that trophy this year. Mark my words, everybody. But next week is going to be so much fun. World Cup preview. We're going to have some guests on. Going to have people talking, hopefully. It's just going to be amazing, everybody. But anyway, guys, I will see you next week.